Hello, Barb. Just you and me so far. Okay. Screens. Ah, I see. I was talking to an empty chair. I said hello to you when I saw you come on,
Oh,
and there was nobody there. So you can
oh,
hear
yeah.
me though, right?
No, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good, good. So you were in this call yesterday, right? And when I left to go to my other meeting, the video that thing went wonky or something.
Yeah, it switched over to your phone call.
That is so crazy. I don't know what happened. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you see? Were you guys able
We
to
saw
see
the
it?
video, but we heard different audio. And then I wasn't in the beginning part of it because I was on a call with an agent and it was, I guess a lot of people left just because the video itself was having trouble streaming.
Huh. Okay.
So,
You know what it was? Because I went into another. I didn't even thought about that. I went into another Zoom meeting, and that's a lot of data going across my connection. I bet that's what it was.
that's
Okay.
probably what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
We already have registrations. We bought 15 of them.
Hello,
Okay.
Sue.
Don't register anybody and
Okay.
double pay. That's why I just wanted to stop that
Okay.
progress.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thanks. That
Good
was
morning. Good
Lisa.
morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. We're gonna wait just another minute, and then we'll jump in. While we're waiting, tell me something good. Anyone have something they want to share? I uh, I had a chance this morning at 6 a.m. to deliver a class to a group of 138 agents in South Africa and Serbia. Actually, I had Serbia on the line there too. So I'm halfway through my day already.
Wow.
No, I'm not because my day doesn't end till 5 tonight, but it feels like I'm halfway through. Good morning. Good morning. Trying to think of something good. Oh, I'll tell you. The honey flow is going, so my bees are making honey. That's something good. It's fascinating and it's wonderful and it tastes amazing. So I'm anxious. I think Sunday I'm going to be out there and we're going to be putting another box on for honey production. So it's for each of the 6 hives. That's kind of fun.
A dual career agent that I coach, as long as nothing shifts unexpectedly here, will have a home run
Oh,
for,
awesome!
for July, and technically a home run and then some because she's supposed to have 2 listings. That's Tony. You remember Tony?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, and she is, I don't believe I've yet had a dual career agent on the home run report. I've had full time, but not dual career. So,
yeah, that's awesome. So she'll have a listing taken, a contract, and a closing in the month of July.
she had a closing
Awesome.
yesterday. She's got an accepted offer. And so, as long as her listings are supposed to go live, as long as at least one of them does, she'll have her home run.
Yeah, fantastic. That is, and I do think it's a first that dual career agent has done that. So that's awesome news. All right, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna, as we get started, I'm just gonna apologize for what happened yesterday. I never even thought. Well, I thought I'd thought it out, but until you run the snares. So I had to go into another Zoom meeting. We're actually working on a new Bold program called Bold Leader. And that was the double booked meeting with really kind of my boss who reports right to Gary Keller at 9 o'clock yesterday. And I said, I already have this commitment. I'll see if I can work around it. And I thought my workaround was going to work. And the Mel Robbins clip is really good. So got to figure out if I can post it. I'll put it up on the KW Pivot 2020 website. And then you can go watch it if you want. What I'm going to do this weekend, though, just for everybody's sake, I will create a new page on the Pivot 2020 website where we'll put the lesson vignettes, which it won't be the whole 9 a.m. power up, just the lesson part there, and I'll label them. So if you miss a day, you can go watch that if you want to and get the lesson from it. I just thought that would be a good way to keep us consistently moving forward for those who are in the conversation. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. Okay. I just saw someone popped something up in the chat window. Oh, cool. So Michelle thought she found the same video I'd shared in her personal Facebook page. Cool. Yeah, it's a good lesson, and I'll put it there too from Mel Robbins. We're going to do this. So just for sake of time, we'll jump right into the PowerPoint. I'll see if I can make it work. For South Africa this morning, it wasn't doing what it needed to do, which is always fun at 5:45 a.m. When I clicked on what I needed to, it didn't do what it was supposed to. So part of me is now going, okay, get rid of doing so much on PowerPoint, Darren. So I'm talking out loud, but that's where my head has been in the last hour. All right, you should have it now, though, I would think, right? You've got just the screen? Okay, perfect. All right, so, here we are. Today is July 17th. So lesson number 94 of our Power-Ups. This is going to be number 5 of A Course in Miracles. Couple things on the schedule today. We got Mind Over Market Part 2. Lynn Marie, do you want to share anything about that for the folks who are with us?
Yeah, so this is, again, out of the Shift materials, and we're finding that it's incredibly relevant, even though a lot of some of it talks about a downshift, which we're not in yet. Here we're still in a very strong seller's market, and yet because of the coronavirus and because of how strong of a seller's market, that we're finding those principles really do still matter a lot. And so it's very practical mind over market as well, and how you can help your clients and customers wrap their head around what's going on as well.
Awesome.
I had a question this morning about who can attend Lynn Marie's sessions. Who can attend your sessions, Lynn Marie?
Everybody.
Okay, I think people thought that it was for only PC clients, so I just want to make that clear so that everyone that's here has the opportunity to join in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I never thought that might be where the thinking is. We probably need to promote that differently. So make sure we've got clarity on that. So thanks, Lisa. All right, and then at 4:30 we've got something kind of fun. I don't know that Josh is with us, but Josh and his daughter Olivia Holt are going to host a scavenger hunt on the Zoom format. I've been part of one scavenger hunt since we've been in COVID. It's kind of a fun half hour or so. And if you haven't had a chance to meet Olivia, Josh's daughter, she's just charming. So they're hosting that at 4:30 tonight. In the Zoom platform. So if you can join us for that, that'd be fun as well. On the Facebooks, or on the Keller Williams side of things, I should say, we've got on Connect today on the luxury commercial and land divisions. We've got Navigate the New Luxury Market. So and that is with Sandy Edry, Ruben Gonzalez, and Christy Cannon. One thing I'll just mention about the luxury division, we have, I think, just 2 agents here in Madison that are part of that luxury division, and that's that is part of Keller Williams. And there's some really cool things that you could choose to do if you join luxury. Now there is an annual fee for it, but there's also great opportunity for great referral business back and forth. And there's a qualifier to become part of luxury. I think it's and if anyone knows better, I think it's at least one sale in the last 12 months over 500,000 or more, I believe, and I can verify that. But just something to think about. And then special session this afternoon with Gary Keller at 3:00 with Jay Papazon, Monica Reynolds, and Jason Abrams. So that's those are the leaders of the company, right? The only one missing from that would be Josh Team, our president, but Jay is the head of Keller Williams University. Monica runs MAPS coaching, and Jason is head of industry relations. He's vice president of everything into the industry for the company. So those great leaders, we had great conversation. You may want to join in for that. Today is day 123 of Flattening the Curve. Normally on Fridays, I give us an update of kind of what we're doing and what's happening based on the data. I didn't have time to do it, quite frankly, based on my schedule this week. And so I apologize. I will bring us a little bit of an update next week. Just there's too much going on for me to get everything done in the day. So we are going to jump into lesson 5, though, of A Course in Miracles. And I'm working to get my head kind of wrapped around this to make certain that we're building on each day, because that's really how these are laid out. And so, just as a reminder, lesson one is throughout the day we were asked to just stop, take a pause with our eyes open, say nothing I see in this room, on the street, from this window means anything. Right, so that was our first lesson, was just to be okay with that, whatever we saw. In lesson two, it was to say this: I've given everything I see in this room, on this out this window, on this street, all the meaning that it has for me, and that was to be with that. So we had no meaning. Doesn't mean any, means anything. Doesn't mean anything, right? Nothing I see in this room means anything. Now it has all the meaning it has. On Wednesday, we said, I do not understand anything I see. So it's just to be kind of in that wonder, I think, is probably the best way to look at what that statement was. Then yesterday, we introduced this one for us, and that's to say these thoughts do not mean anything. They're like the things I see on the street, from this window, in this place. So these thoughts do not mean anything. And it was a whole conversation around what we do with our thoughts. And I gave you kind of another, I thought I had another slide there with a little context of another way to say that. And I do have it here. So let me just go back to it, because I thought I had the slide in there. But what I gave you was this thought about blank. This thought about blank does not mean anything. It's like the things I see in this room, out this window, on this street. So these thoughts, or this thought about blank doesn't mean anything. So it's reading okay by not giving meaning to the thoughts you have. And so with that being said, I'm curious, what did you do with that, or what experiences did you have with this, if any, this over the last day, from that respect? So I'm going to take us out of the screen share and just ask you to what happened for you? Anything that way?
I found myself laughing for reasons I didn't understand.
Okay.
Odd. Yeah.
So for reasons you didn't understand, so would you be willing to share, or can you remember, or be willing to share what one was that might have triggered that?
Yeah, it was just really odd. I don't even remember, like my husband and I were discussing something that, and we weren't fighting or anything like that, but it was still something that could have had some emotional weight behind it. I don't remember what it was. And for some reason, that's when it popped in my head to say, like, this thought has no more meaning than, and I went to like the garbage can. And for some reason, and it wasn't the fact that it was the garbage can, I don't know what it was. It was just like this kind of like internal laugh that came from somewhere else. It was very odd.
So, interesting. So through the earlier part of the week, that garbage can, was that ever part of any of the other three exercises?
Mm-mm.
So you
No.
hadn't looked at that at any point and said this has no meaning, or it means everything?
Not on that particular garbage. Yeah, because I've mostly been just doing it on my main level, and
Okay.
then this garbage can was downstairs. So I don't think I had.
Okay. So, and what happened for you when you found yourself there in that discussion, kind of internally having that laughter?
Well, I guess it just felt like maybe, I mean, I wish, I don't even remember what we were talking about. So I guess it lost a lot, whatever it was, lost a lot of the meaning that I would normally attach to it, which I guess is part of the point. And it was something that, like, again, it was something that had it was not an argument by any means, but it was something that had some kind of emotional attachment. Like something that could have been on a different day, maybe led to something, but I don't know. It was odd.
Which is really good, isn't it? I mean, so, and the fact that you can't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
Let me ask this question. In the past, could it have been that you would have held on to something like that
Yes.
past that conversation?
Yes.
Yeah. And so by starting to kind of rework the way we hold things to be, might be giving you more freedom to let go of stuff that doesn't really serve you after the fact.
Correct. Yes.
It's really good, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good thing, but it just felt so weird because I was just like, why is this funny?
So did anyone else have anything like that? Thank you, Lynn Marie. I'm glad that you shared that with us, though, because that is what this is beginning to do for some. So I love that. Anyone else have anything that they noticed as you did that exercise? So here's the thing, and this is the reason that I'll be building on these slides as a review, is that let's say you didn't practice the lesson some given day. That doesn't mean it's over. That just means you can always pick it up. And so that's one thing I would just challenge you to think about doing, is so you don't give up on it, just stay in it. Because they do build on themselves, and that's one of the kind of key distinctions in this, is that they do. And so so from that respect, let's take a look at lesson number 5. Lesson number 5. So today's lesson 5 is this one. It says, well, I'm gonna give you a couple. There's a couple lines that you could choose to work with, and I'm gonna put them on the screen so you could write them down if you're just taking notes on it. And then I'm going to read the lesson. So really the lesson says this: I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think. And it said this idea, like the preceding one, could be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain or upset. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of that upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever terms seem accurate to you. So let me say it again. So you apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of an upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever terms seem accurate to you. Now, the upset may seem to be fear. It may seem to be worry. It may seem to be depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. So whatever creates the upset is what you want to get in tune with. Now, this is not true. However, so let me say it again. So you may think it's any one of those that cause it. Here's the key statement. It's not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercise of the day. So it's not about what you think causes the upset. It isn't. So applying the same idea to each of these separately in the first step is ultimately recognizing they are all the same. So that's why I put these on the screen. So I'm not angry at blank for the reason I think. I'm not afraid of blank for the reason I think. I'm not worried about blank for the reason I think. So that's the beginning of how we lay this out. So when you use this idea today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to. So using this, I'm not angry at COVID-19 for the reason I think, right? So the cause of anger might be, in my mind, COVID, right? Because it's changed so much. So I'm saying I'm angry at COVID. I'm not angry at it for the reason I think. I'm not afraid of COVID for the reason I think. I'm not worried about COVID for the reason I think. Do you see where the cause and the feeling are two things, right? The cause would be COVID. The feeling would be anger, worry, a fear, that type of thing. So that's what we're going to play with. Now, whatever it is that creates an upset, I use COVID as just a simple example. But there could be a lot of things. You know, in Lynn Marie's example, that could have been whatever that discussion was that you and your husband were having. There might have been something in there that's a trigger that you've had from the past that you could say, I'm not angry at that trigger for the reason I think. Or it could even be, I'm not angry at my husband for the reason I think. I'm not afraid of for the reason I think. So that's the first piece, is to make sure that we do that with these two pieces. It goes on to say, but then again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for the sources of upset in which you believe and the forms of upset which you truly think result. So when we talk about, if we go back to lesson 4, and I think this is important, is how these build on each other. These thoughts do not mean anything. So do you see how if we get to the spot where we can say that and we can truly be with it, whatever those thoughts are, they don't mean anything. If we can get there, then this works really well. Because if the thoughts don't mean anything, then anger, the fear, the worry, the depression doesn't have meaning. And that's really what this is about. So, so in the exercise, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate. Remember we said don't choose which things you're going to have this statement about. Just whatever you see, whatever you, that's what you give that to. This is going to be a tough one not to put some filter on. So in this, though, you want to try to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects over others. It might help to proceed the exercise with this statement. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. So in essence, whatever could cause upset, we want you to equalize it and hold it as equal no matter what it is. So, you know, from the most extreme thing you could think of to the littlest thing, they're all the same. And that's the beginning of all of this. So it says, then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing. So I'm going to say that again. So if I kind of layer this down. So first off, the part of this is I'm never upset for the reason I think. So that's the statement. I'm never upset for the reason I think. And so the idea in that is wherever we think is the reason, we want to identify what that is and then what the upset that it creates for us. And then say, I'm never upset for that reason. And as we do that, then we want to start narrowing it down to the point is where everything is the same in how it makes us feel when there is an upset with it. I'm hopeful that this is kind of making sense. I'm trying to put the dots together. So you may also find yourself willing to apply today's ideas to some perceived sources of upset than others. If this occurs, you know, so you might go, okay, that upset isn't big enough. I'm not going to do this with that. But here's the thing. There's a statement that says, I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purpose of these exercises, then I will regard them all as the same. So regardless of how they appear to you, regardless of how they make you feel, the goal is to get them all on the same even playing field or the same level of impact or emotional hook or whatever you might call it that it has on you. Once you've done that, you want to search your mind for more than a minute or so and identify the number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. So that it becomes a task to say, can I do that? Can I, you know, and this may be one of the only times I would ever say, go look at the news and see what happens there. Many of you have probably been following a practice I do. I only read, I'm very guarded about what I let come in to hear from a news perspective. Today might be a day to open that up a little bit and just play with this idea. Because see what upsets you more in what you hear in the news. See what you can do with that to try to bring it all to the same place. And I think, you know, the last part of this, and this is such a powerful, this first 5 lessons I think together are so powerful because it starts laying a really good foundation for us. When you can get to that spot, we want you then to search I talked about search your mind, apply these ideas for today to each item using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and of the feelings as you experience it. So I am not worried about blank for the reason I think. This is why I've got this on the screen for you. I am not depressed about blank for the reason I think. I'm not angry at blank for the reason I think. That's the piece. 3 or 4 times during each day is enough to go through this exercise. So test yourself a little of this if you want. And I would put myself in a place where I'm going to get a range of inputs that could create different levels of upset. And then see if you can bring it to neutral. By saying, I'm not angry at, I'm not afraid of, I'm not worried about, I'm not depressed about, for the reasons I think. So with that, I'm going to just go back out of the shared screen and see if there's any thoughts, questions, or confusion. This is a little tougher because we're getting a little deeper into this, but the goal is in today's lesson is to start really identifying that upset and the emotion you tie to it is what you create. And so let's see what we can do to move towards neutral with regard to that. So what are you guys thinking, feeling, hearing? Anything you want to just talk about?
Well, I didn't do number 4 yesterday, so I'll work on that today, and then I have the weekend to get on number 5.
Perfect, Nancy. Perfect. Yeah, and so Here's the thing I've been doing, and I think I mentioned this on Wednesday. I just take the lesson one-liners, and I've just started writing those down on Post-it notes and putting them places. So lesson one, and I wrote that out with what lesson one was, and lesson one was that nothing I see in this room means anything, right? So it says lesson one that, and then I took lesson two, which says nothing. I've given everything I see in this room all the meaning it has to me. And these little flashcards are kind of all over my office as just reminders of these. And that may be what you choose to do with this as a way to start kind of building on it. Because there's nothing that says you can't go back to a prior lesson just because you're on the next one. You may want to go back and just get, because if you get stuck on the current lesson, it may be something that didn't happen in the last one. So go back. Just play the game a little bit with those and see what happens for you. So thank you, Nancy. Anything else? Anyone has or thoughts you've got? No? All right. Well, we're a little earlier today. I didn't go into the manuscript or the text at all because I thought this lesson is enough to wrap our heads around in a few minutes on a Friday morning. And yet, over the weekend, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some more lessons out of the text itself, and we'll keep in this journey and in this inquiry. And what you might find is you may end up buying the course. It's not expensive. And it's out there, and actually you can find a lot of it on YouTube too. So if you get stuck with any of it, you can always reach out to me. Also, you can jump out on YouTube and find a lot of it. It's universal. The lessons, we're doing it right from it, and that's what there's online too. So, all right, guys, any announcements or anything else for the day before we go to the rest of Friday and into the weekend?
I jumped in about 2 minutes late, so I don't know if you talked about it, but the bold opportunity, did you talk about that?
I did not, so thank you.
Was everyone here at the citywide yesterday? If you were not, you have the opportunity to get into bold at half price today, by 5 p.m. today. And then
Not only get in at half price, what else?
we'll also cover your mega camp registration once bold is completed and the accountability piece is completed along with your participation in bold. So
Kind of exciting. So it's almost a twofer. It's kind of like Kohl's dollars or whatever, I think, right? So it's like, and all you have to do to get registered is let anyone on our leadership team know that you're interested, correct?
yes,
So just
Barb, me, Katie, Michael.
let anyone leadership know that you're interested. Say, I want to take Bold in August, begins August 4th, Bold Pivot, and then we will bill you $49.50. I think that's half the cost. It's $99. You complete the course, meaning you do it, and then you're going to get a free registration for Mega Camp, which is going to be digital beginning September 15th, 16th, and 17th. So
Right.
great opportunities for learning, and it's all going to be delivered digitally. So yeah, so
Right.
that's so take advantage of it and become a part of our Bold conversation beginning August 4th.
Yes, $49 gets you a $99 bold registration and a $109 mega camp registration.
It is like Kohl's Bucks then.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate your. I forgot about it. That's what I've been living for the last couple of weeks. So thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. If there's someone else that talks about power-ups and wants to be part of this, they can join us anytime. So if you've got a friend in the company or even not, this is for anybody. If you want to have them be part of it, just invite them to join us on Monday, and we'll go from there. Have a great weekend, everybody. Get outside, enjoy some of the great weather we're supposed to have. Wear your mask, stay safe, and we'll see you on Monday. So goodbye.
Thanks, Darren.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You can't.